Hello, 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 everybody. My name is Michael, or Kiratze online. Hopefully, you guys are having a positively fantastic day so far, and I'm here with another episode of You Should Play, and this is You Should Play Kenshi. And you actually probably, remember this name. I actually did an Early Access Friday video on this probably mid last year or so, back when it was still in Early Access, and just at the end, or just at the start of December last year, it finally came out into 1.0 release. And Kenshi is quite an accomplishment because if you don't know anything about this game, it's starting to become a sort of a diamond in the rough, essentially. People, I think, are finally realizing what a special game Kenshi is. Because, once it hit full release, you have people like Carnage, who's one of the largest people on Twitch, actually checking out the game and giving it mighty positive review. Not to mention plenty of other places out there. And it's finally getting the traction I think it truly deserves because it's quite an accomplishment. If you guys don't know anything about this game is a squad-based sandbox RPG developed essentially by one guy over the course of 12 years. This game has been in development for a very, very long time, and over those 12 years, he has Chris Hunt, who is the main developer of the game. He goes under Lo-Fi Games, which is his development team. He essentially has brought in, upwards of 5 to 6 people over the course of those 12 years, but all in all, it mainly has been himself developing the game as a whole. And this game actually has a special place in my heart because I did buy this game when it first came out, almost upwards of 10 years ago, back when you could only get it off of their main website. And I played the game for a couple of hours. I don't think I really knew what I was doing. And I put it to the wayside. I was like, it's still so early in development. I'll let it cook. And then I just forgot about it. And, with games like this, you essentially don't hear too much about it, since that was back when the early access program didn't appear. So when you hear about big early access games or things of that nature, you do hear about them, whether they be bad or good. When Kenshi was released, there was no program like that, so no one really ever heard about Kenshi. But it slowly over the course of those 10 years, gradually built an extremely solid community of players that have been playing for hundreds and thousands of hours, and it's a very, very impressive feat. Not many games can go that long and still have like a very, very positive reaction. Games like DayZ, for example, are stuck in development hell, and it's just extremely negative. Games like Kenshi, especially with the niche that this game fills, because this isn't a game for everybody. This is a very, very special game. It's a very unique game, and I can pretty much safely say there's no other game like it. There are certain elements that you could compare it to. I would say probably the closest games that I could compare it to are RimWorld and like Mountain Blade, for example, but there's a lot of moving parts in this game that make it one of the most deep experiences you can have in an RPG. And it's definitely an emphasis on the role-playing aspect in terms of you are really able to carve your own stories throughout this game. And there's a tons of different ways you can play the game. I actually didn't enjoy this game too much when I actually revisited it mid last year, when it was still in early access. The main reason I think that is because I didn't have the right mindset. This isn't a game for everyone, like I said before, and you do have to have a certain mindset going in. I can safely say that I can fully appreciate the game now. I have rebought the game. Back when I tried it out for my Early Access Friday video last year, I actually refunded the game. After my hour and a half of playing, I just didn't have any interest in the game. I was clueless as what's going on, and I refunded the game. It wasn't until recently where I watched people like Carnage fully get invested in the game and really figure out its mechanics and sort of see what the game actually has to offer. It wasn't until then when I realized, this game actually is extremely special and I should, at least give it a shot. I still may not even enjoy it, but at least I'll give it another shot, give it the old college try. And I'm 15 hours in, and I'm still really enjoying it. I played 2 streams of it so far. What you're seeing here is part of my stream that I did today, which was a 5.5-hour stream. I actually don't do too many streams that last that long. But I was just having so much fun, and it probably wasn't. If it wasn't for the fact that I was getting a little bit tired or hungry, I probably would have kept playing. And it definitely requires the mindset of, okay, you need to set goals for yourself, first of all. And second of all, you have to search for information, I think, beforehand. I think a lot of people who come into this game without either watching streams beforehand, going into the subreddit, or looking at maybe even the mods, this game has an extremely extensive mod collection thanks to their workshop, and it's apparently quite easy to mod the game yourself too. Those types of things are really going to help you get into the mindset of the game, of that you're just dropping into this game in this world essentially, and it's a very reactive world, it's a very living world, and you are really meant to just go out and explore, and whatever happens type of deal. Since if for people who do enjoy games like Mountain Blade and RimWorld, I think you will appreciate this game a lot more than just the random Joe picking this game up after seeing it, being positively reviewed on Steam. Because a lot of people like myself, who when I first started playing, go into this game, they have no idea what they're doing. They look at the clunky UI and they notice it's not exactly the most up to date in graphics. They wander around the wasteland, they get killed by bandits, and then they quit. I think that's a lot of what new players experience, but I think thanks to people like Ko and, just with the game being out in 1.0 release and getting extremely positive reviews from plenty of different websites and things like that, I think people have a better idea of what the game actually is. Because, back in early access, even now, people came into my chat and they were like, what is this game? Because not only does it look unique, it is just one of the most unique games I've ever played. And it's sort of tough to explain why that is, but all I can say is that it's just such a deep experience in terms of how many moving parts there are in the world and how it reacts to you and how you can react to it. If you go online and search different stories, I think that would probably explain it for itself, or even look through the Steam reviews. There's plenty of people, just telling their stories of Kenshi. Just in terms of the general way the gameplay works is you have either up to one to I think it is 5 to 6 people that you start out with. The game lets you have different origin stories. This game, like I said, is a very heavy on the role-playing aspect of the game. And so it gives you different origins off the start. And they can be anywhere from what I did, which was just the basic Wanderer setup, where you have your sword, you have 1,000 cats, which is the currency in the game. You're dropped into the wasteland near the starting city, and that's that. You're left to your own devices. You carve your own goals. You can either try and become a warlord, you can become a trader, you can become a city owner, you can become a thief, an assassin, a bounty hunter, recruit for an army. The list goes on and on and on. So that is sort of the base idea of the game. But the origin stories, they can sort of start you in a certain path. And they can be even from the range of being enslaved. You can start the game being enslaved in shackles, and you actually have to, listen to your slave owners and eat and get stronger, and then finally maybe even break out, or maybe recruit someone near you to help you break out as well. There's just so many different things that you can do in this game, and the game actually does feel like a living world, which is what I think makes Kenshi special, is that even though, at its core, like when you look at the game, it doesn't look like there's a lot of variety. The game is extremely deep, and it rewards you for exploring. It rewards you for diving into the mechanics, and it is one of the most rewarding single-player experiences I've played, when it comes to, finding your first, cool weapon, to building your first campsite, to winning your first fight. This game is interesting in the sense that everything from its combat to its exploration is unique. In terms of combat, it is a automated combat system, and so you are able to play it sort of like a real-time strategy game with a pause feature. And so even though the fights happen automatically, you can make certain decisions, whether it be, taunting certain enemies or playing more defensively. But the game actually encourages you to lose, in a sense. And I think that's another reason why some people might find it tough to get into the game, is because, a lot of people expect you, when you play, single-player RPGs, you sort of expect to be at least relatively strong, or, not necessarily a hero, but in a place where you're able to win most fights, as long as you play them correctly. In this game, anything can happen. You could be just minding your own business, and a thief, a band of hungry thieves could walk by. They notice you have some food in your pack, and they just beat you down and rob you. But there is a stat called toughness that actually levels when you get unconscious and when you get knocked out. So the game encourages you to get up, you know, hobble your way back to town, you rest, you get stronger, and it's sort of a rinse and repeat from there. You know, you do get skills by doing activities, whether it be you know, you get more science skill by researching, you get more laboring skill by mining. And so, you know, the game is, you know, a little bit of a grind, but at the same time, thanks to the modding community, you can still circumvent that. And the game is probably the most sandboxy game I've seen, because you know, even without the mods, you have so many different ways that you can play, that you just sort of set your own goals and go for it. And then you just have to adapt to whatever the world throws at you, because the world does throw a lot at you. And even when you make things like your own first outpost, you'll start having like people raid you. You'll have other factions come to your city, and like either demand, you know, prayers for the holy god or whatever, or you have cannibals try and come and eat you. There are cannibals in this game, and yes, you can actually have your limbs eaten off and actually replace them with robot limbs. There's a lot of crazy stories that is only unique to Kenshi, and I think that's what makes Kenshi special. And you know, I could go on and on and on about talking about those stories, but I think the best thing to say is this game is one of the most unique, rewarding, and deep single player RPGs that you'll probably ever play. And it's worth a shot. I'll say for sure that it's a little bit tough to get into, in the sense of, since, you know, a lot of people might want to try it, and then maybe refund it, but there is a demo for the game. I don't know how long the demo is or how much it offers you, but there is a demo for this game, so I would definitely recommend playing the demo if you are curious about it at all. And even if you're not, even if you plan on maybe, you know, just buying it and then refunding it after, you know, before the 2 hours is up, definitely take a look at the mod system, because there's hundreds of mods for the game. And they'll not only improve the quality of life for you, but they'll also do things such as, if you want to just increase your experience gain or make things easier for yourself, you can also do that. So you can sort of fast track your way to certain areas that normally would take you, you know, maybe at least a couple to a few hours to get. In addition to that, you know, there are a lot of ways you can modify the game yourself, just with the default settings, to make it a little bit easier. If you know, maybe don't want to rely on the hunger aspect as much or things of that nature. But all in all, the game is a little bit rough around the edges, but this is very much a diamond in the rough. There is something very special here, and as long as you are someone who, you know, doesn't need the most technically up-to-date game engine and the best graphics in the world, you're gonna find gameplay like no other. I already have like plenty of stories from my travels in this game, from, you know, potentially, you know, almost getting, you know, some of my squad being taken as slaves, to one of my squad members almost getting eaten by a spider. There's just a lot that can go wrong in this game, but it makes for a very fun, unique experience, especially when getting knocked out or even potentially having one of your guys die isn't the end of your game. And I think that's a very, very good thing, is that this game definitely teaches you to sort of get back up after you're knocked down. And I think that's a very, very good feeling, because it makes for a rewarding experience. And Kenshi does it very, very well. I really do hope that Lo-Fi Games comes out with a very, you know, another unique title like this. I do hope the success of Kenshi allows him to do it in something that won't take 12 years as well. I should also mention that because this is in full release, the developer has talked about not having any more content put in the game. He has mentioned that from here on out, the only things that will be put into the game in terms of updates will be bug fixes, localizations, and, you know, technical updates, things of that nature. So, you know, over the course of time, you can expect a smoother experience from Kenshi. But all in all, you definitely have to rely on the modding community to add more content to the game. But there is plenty of content there already. Like I said, I'm 15 hours in. I would probably say I've explored maybe 10%, less than 10% of the world. And yeah, for 15 hours, that's pretty damn good. And I still have plenty of other goals I want to fulfill in the game and things I want to explore in the game. But yeah, hopefully that gives you an idea of what Kenshi has to offer. Again, there's tons of resources out there, whether it be streams, their subreddit, or the Steam reviews, just talking about the game and what kind of crazy things you can get up to. If any of what I talked about or what you see interests you, definitely give it a shot. It's a game that you can look at and you can make assumptions, but until you actually try it, I think that Kenshi is just such a unique game that you just have to try it for yourself, and you might find it might be it might be your next favorite game. Who knows? All I can say is I'm really enjoying it. I will be playing this off and on stream and off stream as well. So if you want to actually check out either my VODs or whatever, or come ask me questions about the game, feel free to come by my Twitch channel. You can find the link in the description below, as well as all my other social media stuff. But coming up on my stream, you can expect some more Magic the Gathering. I am going to be playing a lot of the new set. I've been looking at the spoilers, and Ravnica Allegiance looks so good. Can't wait to get my Rakdos and my Gruul on. Upcoming as well, we are going to be doing a Resident Evil 2 playthrough with the remake. I'm super excited about that game. And we also got some other stuff like Anthem. We got like Far Cry New Dawn potentially. Those ones I'm not too sure about. But yeah, those are some of the things I'm thinking about playing on my stream. So if any of those interest you, come stop by the stream. I would love to have you. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys do end up playing this game and you guys enjoy it, let me know in the comments below. Let me know some crazy stories that your companions and your character has gotten into. And yeah, I'll be sure to get back to you on those. But take care, guys. Have a great rest of your night, day, or morning, wherever you are. And I will talk to you guys later.